My name is Ralph Hosford. I am a game warden supervisor for the state of Maine. I met the previous owner professionally at first, and over the course of time developed a very good friendship and had access to this property for both professional reasons and also personal, for hunting and personal enjoyment. Been here since the early 2000s. Dale Henderson's vision with this property was simply, he's a big outdoorsman, and he saw very quickly the potential that was here. And by that I mean he created, over 130 acres of food plots that supplemented the natural food sources that were here. He limited the harvest annually of deer primarily, invested in their overwintering habitat by feeding them with both grain and apples to, again, supplement their survival. Winter survival of the white-tailed deer in Maine is essential to a population. So Dale saw, what he had for potential here, and he took it to a level that in my 24 plus years as a game warden, I have not seen statewide. He was kind of a visionary, and limited access, limited harvest, additional food source, habitat enhancement created what is here today. And what is here today is by far one of the largest deer populations in the state of Maine, contained within a 6,000 acre spread. Dale's passion was deer hunting. We have Maine's black bear population here. They're some of the biggest bear in Hancock County, really across the state, right here, because they haven't been pushed, pressured, or harvested by hunting pressure. There are moose that are here, bull moose, cows. You have turkeys. Turkeys have never been pressured here hunting-wise. Ruffed grouse, so there's great upland game bird hunting opportunity. Dale has the good fortune of having good habitat managers.
Hi, I'm Ed Rosso. I have been involved in forest management since 1987. Major change obviously was the road construction. You have to have access to manage properly. Much of the regrowth has been hardwood. We anticipate that the market for hardwood is going to remain strong. The property is going to be quite productive financially for harvesting and wildlife values, especially with the feed plots.
It was not a solo effort. There was a team of people that utilized equipment to reclaim the forest, create fields. Jason Follett has had that job for several years. I say job because it was as much a passion of his as it was a job.
My name is Jason Follett. I've been helping Dale Henderson manage this property for the last about 8 years, managing it for the white-tailed deer and the bears predominantly, but also the other wildlife. Dale's vision for this property was for a wildlife place with the bear, the deer. It took time, and then in the process of doing that, it brought back the turkeys and the partridge and everything else here. We've taken some of the choppings and we've made them into clover food plots. We've made ponds for water for the drought time, and hence the winter habitat, kept a place for them. An 8-point rule, 200 pounds or greater, and we harvested a handful of deer. A lot of the deer were 225 to 270. Everybody kind of laughs at how Dale wanted it done that way, but that's a mature deer. And that's what made this property so great. There's about 8 to 10 hunting shacks strewed around the property. There's a shooting shack out back, this garage that houses all the equipment. We never shot a bear. He loved looking at the bear. There's a lot of bear, 300 to 500 pounds. It must be 30 or 40 acres of food plots, that a lot of it is in clover and chicory, and then we plant turnips and radishes. There's Kilkenny Stream, which is where you cross over to come in the property. That has wild brook trout in it, and it runs the whole length of the property. There's a trout pond up back here. The Rails Trail is an ATV, UTV trail that it was an old rail bed. It goes all the way down to Machias and all the way to Ellsworth. You can jump on a side-by-side and be in Ellsworth and eat at a restaurant in about 8 minutes, or you can go the 60 miles, I think, to get down to Machias. But you can also leave from here and go to other ATV trails besides just the Rails Trails. It's a whole system of trails that comes off of the Rails Trails. You are about 10 minutes away from the saltwater. Hancock Point is a good place to view Frenchman's Bay. I am a lobster fisherman by trade. I fish out of Prospect Harbor, 25 minutes away, and it's just to the east of Acadia National Park, which is right there. Has a campground, all kinds of views. Typical day of lobster fishing, I get up at 3:30 and board my boat at 4, and we go out and we haul 300 to 400 traps, and then we're back in usually in the afternoon. When things are going good, you can get 2 or 3 pounds to trap. You can go leave this property and go saltwater fishing within 10 minutes. Dale Henderson passed away in the spring, and the property was his baby, and it takes a lot to do this, and that's the reason why the property's for sale. I mean, it's got to move on.
Hi, I'm Deb Henderson at Maine Outdoor Properties. Here we are today at Henderson's Wildlife Habitat Kingdom in Hancock, Maine. It's a 6,000-acre property with an abundance of wildlife habitat, native brook trout stream frontage, located in an area close to Acadia National Park. This property was purchased in 1994 from Diamond Occidental, which was a huge timber company. The seller bought several parcels over the years from Diamond Occidental. The last harvest was probably done here 15, 20 years ago. It's about 10 years out from the next productive harvest. Dale, the seller, was an avid hunter. From the time he was a child, he cut wood with his dad with horses in the woods, and as he became an adult, bought his own first skidder. Over the years, he bought large tracts of land, harvested them. Sometimes they were developed. He had a vision for this piece once it was harvested because he started noticing a lot of wildlife here. He introduced turkeys here, and we didn't think that they would take off like they did, but they have. This would be a wonderful property to build your dream home with a log cabin or several cabins and start a business here if you chose to, or you could build just your own private home, and the property is entirely gated. This is close to a lot of different areas. The ocean, you can be to Canada in about 2 hours from here. The closest major airport to this property is the Bangor International Airport. Ralph Hosford is the personal representative of this estate. The seller passed away in February of this year, and Ralph is doing a phenomenal job. He just has all the knowledge that is needed to take care of this property. He is a game warden. Ralph has a vast knowledge of what the wildlife habitat needs to sustain where it was and to keep it going forward. It's just a great way of life. We've raised 3 daughters here. We have 5 grandchildren. Maine tugs at your heartstrings.
This property, above all, has everything that Maine has to offer, and it's protected. I've had bear biologists in here for the state of Maine, other game wardens, and we all marvel at what is here. What Dale has created here is truly special, and it's unseen across our great state.